Nicholas, how has the rise of private credit transformed the talent landscape across Wall Street?
Yeah, so I think the rise of private credit has really opened up a new avenue for investment banking and other related careers, which was traditionally funneled towards more private equity. So it's a new career path in private credit. I think that there's sort of this new ecosystem that's evolving within the private credit world. So traditionally, there's been mostly just deal professionals are being hired within private credit, and now there's a lot of supporting functions that are kind of blossoming, and a lot of firms are paying attention to hiring on.
And there's now a retail angle to it as well. Can you talk about that?
Sure. Yeah, I think there's big demand right now across a number of the bigger private credit managers or asset managers who are looking to, emphasize and build out their retail or wealth management, distribution platforms. So I think there's a lot of hiring on the sales and investor relations, business development front to bring in that type of, capital from retail.
And how are they competing for talent? Is it just throwing money? Are they looking for really experienced professionals? Talk about the competition.
Sure. Yeah, I think that it is a very competitive hiring market right now, specifically in private credit. They're certainly looking for experienced deal professionals. So people who are, capable of running processes on their own, finding and sourcing deals. There is an aspect of, there needs to be a competitive compensation package. But I think the other ways that you can compete, if you can't compete on compensation, is really transparency and information in your interview process. Explaining what the trajectory and the pros of joining this firm outside of just what the compensation would be.
And private market investing or alternatives, whatever you want to call it, used to be boutiques. But now you have big players like Apollo and KKR getting into it, even with retail angles. How has that transformed the marketplace?
Yeah, so obviously there's been a little bit of consolidation in the marketplace recently. Some of the bigger names, acquiring some more mid-sized or smaller players. There is still a lot of opportunity and growth where we're seeing new funds pop up, private equity firms expanding into private credit. So we expect that to continue to happen. We do expect there to be continued consolidation and that followed with some expansion or growth. So it's an exciting time for sure to be a private credit, investment professional and as well to be a private credit recruiter.
Can you, to the best of your ability, give the highlights of a perfect candidate for one of these firms? What are they looking for? Because everyone wants to get into this space right now. It's getting competitive.
Yeah. So I think there's, probably two kind of types of answer to that. And, the traditional answer is, pedigree, right? Ivy League or top school, bulge bracket investment bank, somebody who's known that they've wanted to go into investing for a long time. I think that's the historical private equity profile. Although we do see a lot of clients who are now saying, we actually want somebody who's a little bit scrappier. Maybe they didn't go to a target school and they fought to get themselves into a middle market bank or something related. And there's somebody who's hungry, motivated, is effective at communicating, and somebody who can learn on the fly.
And then finally, this is a cliche perhaps, what inning are we in when it comes to private equity from the hiring side? Because Wall Street has a history of overhiring during the booms and then firing everyone during the busts. So where do you think we are?
Specific to private credit?
Yes.
So it'd be really tough for me to say that. From our perspective, it's maybe still early or mid innings. There's still a very high demand, and we're expecting that demand to continue to grow pretty significantly. I'm sure, you've seen the headlines. The total AUM of private credit, allocation is expected to, rise by several trillion over the next few years. So we do still think there will be a significant ramp up in terms of hiring, for the foreseeable future.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for coming on and talking about it.
Thank you so much.